If you have no interest in the EcoFlow Delta Pro solar generator, in my experience with it, you may want to just skip this video because that's all it's about. Just about my experience boondocking with my big rig using the EcoFlow. So yeah, feel free to quit watching this thing now unless you have interest. Hey everybody, it's Bill with Bill and Carol's Travel Project. As you can tell, I'm back home now, sitting out here in the shop. Me and my wonder dog, Ginger. So yeah, we're glad to be home from the cool mountains where the high was probably about 82, 84. And now it's like 106, but don't worry, we're gonna get out of here again. Oh, a world of transformation has came over that dog. She's really turning out to be a good one. What I want to talk about right now, I've been thinking about the best way to present this, but I want to talk about my EcoFlow Delta Pro solar generator. Some of you have asked me about its performance because I did use it over a 4-day boondocking period. That was, that was my goal of this whole thing. I did a little research on solar generators, and I looked at several. The Delta Pro, even it's expensive, but it offered the largest battery bank in one unit. And so, you can do all the research you want, and sometimes you have to just get it in your mind. I'm just gonna have to try it. I just got to get one. So I got the best that I could afford, and I bought it. And I bought a package deal. It came with 360 watt solar panels, and it was a package deal. It was about $4,200 to get it that way, and I didn't know. I thought, well, maybe that'll be fine. That's why it's all together, right? Hold on, I got to check my dog. All right. The dog has been sequestered and laying right here by my feet. So, as I was saying, I bought the package with the 160 watt panels, thinking that's satisfactory. And for some, it probably is. But my goal was for this unit to run my RV. I have a large Class A RV. And so I guess I'm going to have to kind of break it into sections of why I got it. Now, the main goal was my RV has a residential refrigerator that demands 110 power every second of the day to work. And then at night, I sleep with a CPAP machine that forces air down my nose so I don't snore so bad. And I like that thing, and I need to be able to run it. So, yeah, y'all have probably saw a couple of my videos where I was testing this unit, and the 160s is at the time I was testing it, and honestly, I didn't know what I was doing because there are so many variables, and it's pretty dynamic. I mean, like the refrigerator, when I first started, I don't think I had it cooled down. I think the compressor was running all the time to get it cooled down. So I just learned a lot of things, but I honestly didn't feel like the 160s were enough. So additionally, I bought 3 400 watt EcoFlow portable solar panels, thinking, okay, this will be enough. And I'm going to go through a few of the specs with you, but I'm not going to concentrate on that because that's not what this is about. To cut to the chase, people want to know, Bill, did it work? And yeah, it did work. Now, it wasn't seamless. It didn't just work automatically. The panels don't set themselves up. They're big panels, and you have to sort of position them, run the wires out. Here's the array. After about a 20-minute battle, getting them all set up and looking the right way and out of the shadows. I happened to hook them all in series, and I hooked all the panels up and get them aimed at the sun and all that. Now, the first thing you have to recognize is this EcoFlow Delta Pro, it has its limitations. And have I tested them? No, but I have read a lot of things. And you know, it's a pretty good investment. I want to protect it. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the maximum voltage it can take. The maximum voltage it can take is 150 volts. If you exceed that, you smoke it, and it's done. These three, well, I'll show you the tags on the specs on the 400 watt solar panels. They are each like 48 volts a piece. So you put three of them together and you have, under normal conditions, 144 volts going to your battery pack. However, I was warned that voltage varies according to the ambient temperature. The number that I got was 54 degrees Fahrenheit. If I operate these panels at full sun below 54 degrees, the voltage will exceed 150 volts, and I'll ruin my battery pack. So be very mindful of the temperature. Now, don't get me wrong, I could unhook one solar panel, I would be way safe. I would have two solar panels. Now, I would have less charging ability, but at least I would not risk blowing up my machine. So that was part of the deal. So it was pretty warm when we were camping, and in the daytime, and I plugged them in, and that thing worked like a charm. Now, you also learn a lot about your motor coach. So I had to write myself a procedure, but yeah, I first set them up, and optimally, I could set those panels and I could just lay them flat on the ground. It says from the hours of 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the sun is mostly overhead. You can just lay them down flat and you'll get plenty of charge. So my first day, I turned on the generator and it was at 92%. I plugged it into the 3 solar panels that were laying flat on the ground, and in 30 minutes it was up to 100%. Now it stops charging. It'll cut off at 100%. It won't charge anymore until it runs back down to about 85%. So I got it charged up, and I started then. You'll see it's got a 30 amp plug-in. I just plug in my. I use a dog bone. I just plug my motorhome power cord in right there, just like it was shore power. And I plug my 50 amp camper into the dog bone and dog bone it into that 30 amp connector and run it just like I was plugged into shore power. Now, things you got to consider, you can monitor everything measures in watts. So I don't know the calculations. I don't know a lot of things, except for I watch the watts coming in and the watts going out. And my main goal is to have more watts coming in than I do going out, so that by the end of the day, it'll be at 100%, because at night, there's no more charging. You're just relying basically on what you've stored in that battery. So, like I say, there was some power management involved in this. It wasn't just plug in and forget it. I was doing a lot of monitoring and that kind of stuff. So at first I was positioning those panels and aiming them at the sun to get the maximum input. And you can do that. You can spend a lot of time, and it's a lot of trouble. But you don't really have to do that. If you just lay them out flat between 10 and 2, in my situation, it charges up just fine. At the end of the day, it'll be charged up. So it was a learning experience. So the first time I plugged in, I was looking at my, and typically when I had the premium sun coming in, the three panels, I was inputting 750 watts into the battery pack, and I was actually only pulling out anywhere from 90 to 115 watts. But I looked at it there, and man, the motorhome was using 350 watts, and I thought, what is on? I thought I turned everything off. But my when you plug it in like that, I have it charges the batteries. When you plug it into shore power, it has a charger where it charges my batteries, and that pulls like 300 and something watts. So I learned, hey, to run optimally off this thing, I need to turn that battery charger off, and I did that. And once I did that, man, it ran fine. And so we sort of learned that one day. We kind of ran out of power a little early because of that battery charger. But once I figured that out, it did a lot better. Well, the next thing that happened, you know, we were set for the next night, thinking, okay, I know everything and we're good to go. And I don't know, it was about 5 in the morning. I heard, oh, another thing you gotta do is I had to turn my heating system off. I have a Oasis hydronic heating system, and it pulls 12 volt all the time. It's constant, it pulls 12 volts all the time. Well, I turned it off on the panel on the inside. What I didn't realize is it's still drawing power. I had to go outside to the unit itself and turn the power off there to stop that drain. You know, and how you learn this is because your battery pack runs down early. I mean, I'm trying to get the most out of it. So it takes about 2 days to figure out, turn off the battery charger, turn off the hydronic heat. After that, it ran very good. I mean, it would, at night I would be at 100%, and we would come in and we would run a few lights. I have LED lights. They don't pull hardly anything. We were very conservative. I bought some circulating fans that are battery operated. They don't pull, you know, I did my best not to pull any power so I could run my refrigerators. Now, that motorhome also has a lot of electronics that, you know, they, I don't know what you call it, they drain your battery anyway. I've got 4 TVs on that thing. Even when they're turned off, there's some kind of power draw. So I had to unplug a couple of TVs. And so the next night, man, we got along perfect. I woke up the next morning. I still had 30% in that battery pack. Now, I did have to have my coffee, and we have one of those, I don't know, where you put the little pods in there. And buddy, I tell you what, that's 1,500 watts of pull every time it makes a cup of coffee. And I need 3 cups of coffee. Farrell needs 2 cups of coffee. So we did drain it on down, but I wasn't worried about it because by then, it was morning, there was sun out there. Now, remember, at night, I unplugged those solar panels because I was worried about in the morning, what's the temperature gonna be? I can't control that, so I don't know. So I would unplug those panels until I, you know, could wake up and physically see what the temperature was before I plugged it back in, making sure I was below that, I was above that 54-degree temperature mark. And yeah, we had some cool mornings. We were in the mid-40s, you know, so I'm glad I unplugged them. And then when the temperature was good, I plugged them and buddy, they charged right back up. So one morning I pulled that thing down to about 5% and I just plugged them back in, and shoot, it's about 3 hours. And that's while still running things. I mean, the refrigerator was pulling out, I was putting in, and it took it about 3.5 hours to charge back up to 100%. like I said, it stops at 100%. So this is a dynamic operation as it was doing that. Yeah, so after it stopped charging, you know, say at 2 in the afternoon, the refrigerator still drawing power. And it's like I say, it's cycling. It's cycling, you know, most of the time it'd only be pulling 100 amps. Later I would look, it'd be pulling 360 watts, 360 watts. And that's because the refrigerator cycles. I mean, it sits there, and as it needs to cool, the compressor kicks on, it draws a lot of power, then it kicks off. So at 2 o'clock, you know, like I said, that thing quit charging, and I don't know, it ran probably 3, 4, 5 or 6. It had pulled it back down to like 85. At 85%, it starts charging again. So it actually charged itself about 3 times between 85 and 100% before the sun got low enough to where it was not charging anymore. Now, on one night there, man, I was so proud of it, and we just went to bed like nothing happened, and I was laying in bed, and I don't know, about 4 in the morning, I thought, I forgot to unplug the solar panels. What happens if the sun comes up and it's below 54? And I didn't want to get up. I just like, nah, maybe it'll be okay. But no, I did. I rolled out of bed, got a flashlight, went outside and unplugged the panel. You know, so like I said, it was a constant management. I always had to try and do something. Even though I have made a procedure, I think it'll be much easier in the future. So, yeah, bottom line, I just want to tell you, it'll work. It'll only work in the day. But I was pretty pleased with it, and I just want to let you know that without a lot of specifics, it's a pretty good deal. Once you figure your coach out, once you figure out the limitations of the solar charger and how much solar panels you have feeding it. And other than that, that's all I wanted to talk about. And if you wouldn't mind, if you like this video and you learned something, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I could use some more subscribers. I'd like to thank you for watching. See you next time.